I love bread so much. But when I was 23, I got diagnosed with celiac. At that point, all of my bread dreams came crashing down. And I have had to find ways to cope. Instead of strangely tiny $7 loaves of bread and corn tortillas, I'm gonna make my own fucking bread. I am gonna have tasty bread, no matter what it takes. So props to the Libby Whisk, who is my inspiration today. I did make this bread one time before, and it turned out pretty stinking good. But I did skip some steps that were a little more like optional to make it rise better, that kind of thing. And so, with that, I shall begin cooking the bread. Today's recipe, I will be using a mix of flours, some sugar, yeast, salt, psyllium husk, apple cider vinegar, and olive oil. I'm going to start by combining the flour. Flour. Now I believe it's time to prep the psyllium husk and the yeast. I will be throwing in some sugar, yeast, and lukewarm water. And then for the psyllium husk, I will be mixing it with water and letting it turn into like a kind of goo that's gonna act like gluten. Teaspoons of yeast. It says 8 grams on the recipe, so I'm just gonna throw in so much more. So with that, I'm gonna let the yeast get all yeasty, let the psyllium husk get all jelly, and we'll be back. How crazy. The yeast is starting to yeast. Time to do some cleanup. And of course, I totally forgot, this is a perfect opportunity to bake. The recipe says 425 at first, but I'm gonna go to 450 because I don't trust that my oven is getting hot enough. So now, it is time to combine the wet and the dry ingredients. Make a well in the middle of the dry ingredients. Maybe I should get a bigger bowl. Maybe I should. Put some yeast, and some coffee, and some psyllium gel. Literally so jelly. It comes out as a goop. Oh, last time I remember wanting my hands to be wet. Well, look at that. Very exciting. So now we have to let this sit for an hour. I forgot to mention that it is to be covered in plastic wrap and put in a warm location. I live in New Orleans, so I feel like putting it by the window should be enough. So it's been about an hour. Our dude is nice and big and plump. So now it's time to roll out and shape the dough. I'm gonna be using millet flour to coat my cutting board. And now, all we have left to do is bake it. Okay, so another key to this is one, and this is what I didn't do before, preheating the baking tray that the bread will go on. The second key that I did do before, and I feel like is very crucial, is to place a heavy bottomed baking dish of some kind and place ice cubes inside of it so that the oven gets nice and steamy for the first 15 minutes. And then the third key is immediately lowering the temperature of the oven as soon as the bread goes in. So I have it at 450 right now, and I'll be lowering it down to 400 once I put the bread in the oven. This and set my timer for 15 minutes. Waiting on the bread. All right, it's been 15 minutes. So it's time to get the bread. We're gonna open, let out the steam, take out this bread, and then we're gonna let it bake for another 25 to 30 minutes. So it's actually been 45 minutes and I have not gotten the color that I was looking for, but I think I probably shouldn't overcook it too much. So we're just gonna let this guy rest for another 15 minutes and dig in. I have Eric here to help taste test the bread. Let's cut into this sucker. She crossed me.
Squishy.
Bouncy.
Bouncy. Beautiful.
Okay. Good girl. Look at how squishy. Are you my little helper? Yeah? Bye.